I don't know how many chances you think you're gonna be given. Had you gone to AANA, I was not going to send you to jail. Now you lose. Now you lose. I don't want to hear another word. I don't want to hear another word. I'm not. I don't want to hear anything about the charges. All I know is a probation. You are in custody for the next 6 days. I'm not gonna change my mind. Maybe next time you'll understand. You're. Morning to you. People against Jacob Michael Douglas, 24B1470488.
Good morning.
Hang on 1 second. I also have 24B1470755B and 24B1470448B. All right. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge Middleton, Thomas Courts. Here on behalf of the defendant, sir, please state your name for the record, please.
Good morning, I'm Jacob Douglas.
All right. So let me just recap here. He pled guilty to operating while impaired due to the consumption of drugs. He also pled guilty to failure to report a property damage accident. The original charge of operating while intoxicated due to the consumption of drugs or operating while with the presence of drugs was dismissed, and as was the leave the scene of a property damage accident. He also has an outstanding civil infraction in front of him that he did not pay dating back to 2023. I mean, it was the same date. They've got a different case number. It's just 7075B instead of, I'm not sure why they were not consecutive here, but at any rate. So I referred him for a screening and assessment. Have you had a chance to review the report with him, and are there any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
I have, Judge, while it was accurate at the time, there are two updates I'd like to share with the board.
Okay.
His employment status has changed. Instead of working at Arby's.
1 second, Amy. Okay, instead of working at Arby's part-time, he's what?
He's now working, doing gutters. He's now doing gutters at Gene's Construction.
Okay, I'll modify the report in that aspect.
And then, Judge, there's also, his 2-year-old child. The mother has lost her job, and so now he is providing assistance and help with.
Okay,
Besides that, Judge, we believe the report to be fully accurate.
all right. Anything you would like to say on his behalf?
Judge, thank you. With case is from 2023, that's not the behavior, but it is to say, Judge, that there's a slightly different person that stands in front of you. He came to court today. He's voluntarily trying to handle his legal matters. He's working, he's employed. He's got a child. Back in 2023, he didn't have a child. My client, this is a drug-related problem, and he's telling me that if we were to test him today, he'll test positive, Judge, which really changes the whole dynamic of the
He will test positive?
Oh, I'm positive. Sorry about that, Judge. He's positive that he would test clean.
I don't usually expect defendants to come up here and acknowledge that they've violated a bond condition, so I'm glad to hear that at least, but go ahead.
Thank you. So he's so I would ask Judge that he be put on probation because the underlying drug problem wouldn't be treated.
What happened with his assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder probation violation out of the Third Circuit Court? Does he still have that outstanding?
He has that, Judge, but we are handling that. I am going to take on the case of Taylor where that violation came out of, and we are going to go in front of Judge Casca, preferably this week, and turn him in on a warrant. He wanted to come and take care of this, but we're going to take care of that warrant and tell the judge we're fighting that case, Judge.
Okay, why isn't he showing up on that? The date of that warrant was only June the 18th, but nonetheless, he received notice. Why didn't he show up?
Judge, I don't have a good explanation for that, but we can go there immediately. I'm going to circuit court right after this, Judge. If you'd like, I can take him with me and turn him in for his warrant.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. And that is all I'd like to say on my client's behalf at this time.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know how many chances you think you're going to be given. I get the fact this is a first drug or drunk drive. I'm not looking at things in an isolated fashion like that. You got a big problem. Well, I'd like to believe you've changed, but it's hard for me to believe you've changed when you had assault with a dangerous weapon in 22. Granted, this is a 23 case. Then you were convicted of assault with intent to do great bodily harm and felonious assault. Another count of felonious assault in the Third Circuit. Then you had an aggravated assault out of the Third Circuit. So they must have pled that down from initial felony. Then you were arraigned on a charge. You have a case out of the 23rd District Court for malicious destruction of property. Now, that's just an arraignment. Maybe you weren't even there. It might not have been, it might have been somebody else. I don't know. Then you were arraigned on a charge of domestic violence out of the 23rd District Court on a charge of domestic violence, same date from the MDOP. Also arraigned on a charge of assault and battery out of the 23rd. Now, again, maybe you're innocent in all those. Maybe you were out of the country and somebody used your name. I have no clue. But you're not doing too good. You leave the scene of an accident here.
A lot of that stuff happened before I had a daughter. That was 2023. My daughter was born
Didn't
2024.
Didn't happen before 23. The only thing that happened before
23,
this one and the felonious assault from 22 happened before you had your daughter born.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even sound like you spent a lot of time because, correct me if I'm wrong, says claims paternity to a 2-year-old daughter, but reports not paying any child support or being involved in the child's life. That's what you told probation. Is that true or is that a lie?
That's not true.
You told them you weren't involved in your child's life?
Well, at the time, I was working at Arby's and I had got a good job.
Hang on a second. Let's slow down. You just started on this case on April the 20th, right?
Yes, sir.
You reported at the time of the screening, which was on June the 17th, which was only 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes, sir.
You reported all of this to the probation department,
Yes.
right? And now you're saying, well, my life changed when I had my daughter, even though you had the daughter in 24 and all these other events have happened in 25 and 26. And now you're making it sound like you changed in the last 2 weeks.
Well, a lot of those things, you know, the crime was committed in them years. I wasn't convicted until
I don't want to hear anything about the charges. All I know is the probation department is recommending jail and I don't blame them. And I'm only talking to you because I'm trying to figure out how I can rationalize in my brain not sending you to jail.
Yes, sir.
Can I speak just that quickly, Judge?
Sure.
As this case relates, just as this focused case is about drugs, I would argue that this case would be better to treat it with probation. And those other instances, Judge, you're definitely, of course, right to take note of them. But he's gonna have to answer to Judge Casca, who specifically handled that case and that violation. And deal with the judges and Taylor for the underlying facts, Judge. So I would just ask for the mercy on this case to let him have probation. And if the facts of those other cases, when they're fully fleshed out, warrant jail, I'm sure the circuit court will issue that.
Look at all these substances you had in your system. You had no business driving. No wonder you drove into a utility pole. It's a good thing you didn't hurt yourself or somebody else. Then you left the scene. Then you ignored the court. You didn't show up. You're lucky. You are really lucky. You know why you're lucky? I'm not gonna take into account any of these new charges where there have not been convictions. That's not appropriate for a judge to do. I'm not gonna do it. That's not appropriate. That's not the way our system works. Or should work anyway. But you are going to be on a short leash with me. And I am going to trust, Mr. Quartz, that you are going to take him down. You said you were taking him down today?
Yeah, well, as long as he has no objection, you can ride with me and I'll take you down there right now.
Are you going down there? Because I'm gonna order you to go.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't go, you're gonna serve 93 days. And you tell Judge Kask I said that.
Yes.
All I know is I don't like the way your life is going so far for you, not for me. But if you end up in poverty, it's no skin off my neck. You don't have a diploma, you don't have a GED. You're making $250 per week. Maybe this job's gonna pay you more. You fathered a child, you had nothing to do with the child. That's bad. I can't stand that. I think any man that impregnates a woman, if you don't take responsibility for that child emotionally, financially, well, then you got a lot of answers to give yourself when you look in the mirror the next time. But I'm not going to penalize you for being a bad father. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a priest. You are on such a short leash with me, you have no idea. On the drug driving, the operating while impaired due to the consumption of drugs. This is the sentence of the court. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court. You cannot violate any law or ordinance. By the way, do I have proof that he attended AA? NA? Did you show it to your lawyer?
I did not, but I do have.
Show it to him. I expect to see that you've gone twice per week since June the 17th. If there aren't at least 4 on there, I hope you brought your toothbrush.
Judge, just for full disclosure to the court, so far there's only one listed, but we'll get them there, Judge.
Okay? You're not taking it seriously then. And I don't want to hear any more. She talks cheap to me. Had you gone to AANA, I was not going to send you to jail. Now you lose. Now you lose. I don't want to hear another word. I don't want to hear another word. I'm not. Now you lose. I don't want to hear another word. I don't want to hear another word. I'm not going to listen. Tells me you don't take courts very seriously.
Pointed today to go to a meeting. I was
Too
actually.
late. Too late. Too late. Too late. 24 months probation, you cannot leave the state without the consent of the court. You cannot violate any law or ordinance. If you change your address, place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. You're to submit to chemical testing, PBTs, and ETG tests. That'll be weekly for 3 months. If you are clean, it will then be bi-weekly for 2. If you are clean, it will then be monthly. Kratom, poppy seeds, and CBD oils are prohibited. Consuming food or other items containing those substances will be deemed a violation. You're to obtain and maintain employment and provide proof. You're to obtain a high school diploma or a GED. You're to attend AANA twice a week until you are in an outpatient substance abuse treatment program. Once you get in outpatient substance abuse treatment, you no longer have to attend AANA. You're also to attend the Victims Impact Panel. That is one night put on by Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Defendant to surrender to the Wayne County Circuit Court for probation violation hearing on warrant entered on June 1826 within 2 business days of his release from jail. Now expect proof of that. You are to serve 12 days jail credit 1. You're going to serve 6 now, and you're going to serve 5 more days on the court work program pursuant to the probation order. There's a $35 a day charge for that, for a total of $175. You're to pay fines of $300, costs $250, $75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment, that's $675, screening fee $60 for $735, probation fees are $40 for $12.15, plus your court work program fees. The total's $13.90. If you violate, your probation could be revoked. You could be incarcerated for 93 days. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal. On the failure to report a property damage accident, I'm simply going to go 100 fines, 100 costs, 75 victims' rights, $50 justice assessment, 3 1/4, 5 days court work program. Court work program days concurrent with that I imposed on 25B147048A. I will simply go out of my way and give you credit for time served on the no proof of insurance. Defendant given credit for time served on the no proof of insurance, Heather, but he still must pay the clearance fee. So you're still going to have to pay your $45 clearance fee. Now, he doesn't have any money today, does he?
I don't believe.
You don't have any money.
I have a few dollars on my journal. And like I said, I've been working endless hours.
Okay, good. Do you have enough to pay the failure to report a property damage accident? That's 3 1/4.
No.
How much do you have?
I'm pretty sure I have like $100 on my journal.
So you're sure you can pay 100 today or not? Just tell me the truth. I'm not going to penalize you anymore.
I think it's like $90 a month.
You pay $90 now on that. Then you're going to pay $30 per week on that case, beginning on July the 31st. If you don't have the money, you call the court. We'll go on Zoom on or before the due date at 8:30, or you can come in and talk to me on or before the due date at 8:30. Then you're going to pay on the other case, the operating while impaired due to the consumption of drugs. You have a bond of $5,000, 10%. I'm pretty sure we can apply that with the 10% because he's not been discharged from obligations with the court. So you're going to pay $450 now on that and $30 weekly after fines costs paid on 7048B. You are in custody for the next 6 days. I'm not going to change my mind. Maybe next time.
In this courtroom, the judge carefully listened to every detail before reaching a decision. The court showed patience, fairness, and respect for both sides.
In this heated custody dispute, the judge delivered a powerful warning about honesty and transparency in court. Miss Huey was told that court rules apply to everyone, even those representing themselves. The judge made it clear that evidence cannot be hidden and then revealed at trial. Any information not properly disclosed could be excluded entirely. The court also denied a temporary parenting plan change.